Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Cuban Assassin Podcast. I'm your host, Richie Acevedo, also known as the Cuban Assassin. Now, last time on the Cuban Assassin Podcast, I was talking about where I was up in Canada for Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling's 2005 tour and having a feud with none other than Jeff Dupree, the brother of Rene Dupree and the son of Emile Dupree. And then after I finished up on the tour of Atlantic Grand Prix Wrestling for 2005, then I would come back home and I would go to work for none other than AWA Apex Wrestling, which would be a studio-style wrestling in Oak Hill, West Virginia, up on Main Street of Oak Hill, West Virginia. And AWA Apex Wrestling was promoted by none other than Brian Logan, one of my best opponents I ever had a match with. And the AWA in Apex Wrestling was for the AWA American Wrestling Association, and this is in 2005. And the AWA was supposedly being sold off like the NWA. And I was the Cuban heavyweight wrestling champion when I came into the AWA, the American Wrestling Association, AWA Apex. Let's take a look at a match with me from AWA Apex Wrestling.
Welcome to our main event. It is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. First from Scarborough, West Virginia, weighing in at 200 pounds, the pride of the plateau, Jason Kincaid. And his opponent from Havana, Cuba, weighing in at 245 pounds, the Cuban Assassin.
Well, fans, there you have it, the TV main event. The Cuban Assassin, who's had his hands full with Team Gay, and Jason Kincaid, who has been facing Crazy K, Kirby Mack, for the lightweight championship of the American Wrestling Association, and has also had his hands full with the stars here of Apex, right here in a great matchup. What can you say? Jason Kincaid, a great technical wrestler, probably the best pure wrestler on the roster, and also the second-generation superstar, the Cuban Assassin, the legend, and what a name he's got, and 16 years of professional wrestling experience. We've got a great one here on the main event. 15-minute time limit. Our time limit expanded for this match because we just know the action is going to be fast and furious. Jason Kincaid with that headlock on the Cuban Assassin. And he's hanging on tight. And the Cuban tried to get out of it with that suplex, but Jason Kincaid shifting his weight as now Cuban shifts Jason's weight back, getting the near fall. Jason took him over, but again, Jason hanging on to the Cuban Assassin's head in that headlock, but he snuck out and got that hammerlock, and now he's got a headlock of his own. Headlock takeover. Jason Kincaid with a reversal into the head scissors. Like I said before, in my opinion, Jason Kincaid is the uncrowned AWA lightweight champion. He is the purest wrestler on our squad. He is the purest wrestler on our roster, I should say. And the Cuban Assassin now out of the head scissors and back into the headlock. Cuban claiming he's the Cuban champion. He's been coming out here all month with that title belt. I still haven't had any word from the office. No one at Mediocre Matt Productions seems to know whether they will sanction that title or not, but we're looking into it. I don't even know if it's a real title. Maybe we should look into our legal services with Greg Hewitt, maybe find out if that is an actual championship. But Jason Kincaid firmly in control, dropping that knee down on the arm. Again, dropping that knee down on the Cuban Assassin. And the Cuban Assassin, you can see the pain on his face, a little worse for wear. driving that knee, and look at the look on the Cuban's face. The cameraman taking us right in there as if we're in the ring, and you could see the temple there being driven by that knee of Jason Kincaid. Now, of course, the Cuban in the hair. Cuban likes those kind of tactics, and Jason hangs on again. Beautiful, beautiful catches, can wrestling, counter into counters. What great matchup we have here. Jason Kincaid, the Pride of the Plateau, against the Cuban Assassin, the self-proclaimed, I guess, or as far as we know, Cuban champion. Jason with a forearm dragon twist with a drop. Referee Herbie Scott in there with the call. The stars of the AWA, the stars of Apex Wrestling. Cuban going for the slam, but Jason still holding on. Again, we want to thank everybody at the Gorge Channel for bringing us to you into your homes each and every week. The stars of Apex Wrestling. It's been 27 years since professional wrestling has been on television in Southern West Virginia, and we are proud to be back on the air and be part of the American Wrestling Association and the Gorge Channel, as now the Cuban Assassin in control, but Jason Kincaid showing off some maneuvers, cartwheeling and flipping and flopping, and he comes up with a reversal and spins in deeply on that arm. What a matchup we have here. Jason Kincaid all over the Cuban Assassin.
Hey, breaking my stinking arm.
Cuban saying he's breaking his stinking arm. I don't know if he's breaking the arm, but stinking part I might believe. Got that full arm bar now. Of course, Cuban into the hair again. Driving that knee in. Putting the point of that elbow. Now the big right hand on Jason Kincaid. Right there in the corner. Irish whip. Big elbow on the jaw. Jason Kincaid down. Assassin follows up with a boot. Lateral press. Jason Kincaid out the bat. He didn't hook that leg, and that's exactly what he should have done, because of the caliber of Jason Kincaid can slip right out. Big suplex. And Jason Kincaid is hurt. And the Cuban Assassin looking good this week, using that rope to his advantage. The Cuban Assassin all over Jason Kincaid, looking very good in this matchup. Sharp to the buckle, follows him in with a blow. Big right hand in the corner. Now he's choking him. And this is what I don't understand, fans. The Cuban Assassin can wrestle. I've wrestled him many times. I know he knows a lot of holds, but he chooses to cheat. Between the hair pull and the eye gouging and the choking over the rope and the international objects, heck, he doesn't have time for a wrestling hold. Big backdrop on Jason Kincaid, and the Cuban Assassin looking good. Hooks that leg, and a 2 count. Jason Kincaid out. He's going to that rear chin lock. Got it cinched in there good. Textbook rear chin lock. The crowd cheering for Jason Kincaid. And the crowd taking exception to the words of the Cuban. Jason to a vertical base. Drives that elbow in. Hits the ropes. Duck under. Flying body press. Referee down. 2 count. Big clothesline by the Cuban. And again, kudos to our film staff here. Right up there as if we were in the middle of the action. Hooking him for a butterfly suplex. And he gets it. What a maneuver. What a veteran maneuver. Dropping that elbow down. The Cuban is looking great. The Cuban has been on top of his game for the past few weeks. I have known this man for years. I have traveled with him. I've wrestled him. And I have never seen the Cuban Assassin looking any better than he has looked the past few weeks. And he looks on top of his game tonight. The stars of Apex Wrestling, the stars of the American Wrestling Association. Jason Kincaid stuck into the grasp of the Cuban Assassin, trying to rally, trying to fight from underneath as the fans get behind Jason Kincaid. Jason Kincaid needs to work to his vertical base, needs to come up and try to get some maneuver in there, get some air in him, and then try to cause separation and get in there and get a move that can knock down the Cuban so he can get some wind back in him. But right there, he's going to hook him. Backslide. Cuban fighting it. 1. Oh, and almost a 3. And again, the Cuban, Jason Kincaid gave it all he had, and it might have just been too much. He got up slow. He hesitated. The Cuban had more wind, as we see the full scoop and slam, had more wind and was able to come back from that maneuver. The Cuban up to that second rope, driving that elbow down, and Jason Kincaid out. What a matchup here, the TV main event this week. Jason Kincaid fighting. Big right hands. Wait a minute, Devin Davis is at ringside, and he's sneaking out. What is Devin Davis doing here at ringside? And he just handed a Cuban Assassin something. Referee, come on. I can see it plainly. He just hit him. With that international object. There's Team Gay. Team Gay's had enough. Just come in the ring. Chaos is broken out here. Shane Storm on Devin Davis. J.C. Lynch on the Cuban Assassin. Jason Kincaid, he got hit with that object, whatever it was. J.C. Lynch all over the Cuban Assassin. Shane Storm all over Devin Davis. These 4 men, they've been fighting tooth and nail each week, and this week is no exception. It's broken down, fans. It is broken down here, fans. What's that? We're out of time. We gotta get out of here, but we gotta stay. If we could just stay for just a minute, just a second, we've got to get all of this. They're rocking, they're reeling. I know we gotta go, but if we could, Cuban Assassin's like a ping pong. Jason Kincaid's back up. Fans, that's it. That's all we got. We're out of time. We'll see you next week.
One of the advantages of being in Oak Hill and being at AW Apex Wrestling, I always get to spend more time with my kids, my daughter Madison and my son Quentin. So I got to spend time with my kids here, being in Oak Hill, and that was a benefit. Then Devin Davis and myself will become the AWA Apex Tag Team Champions. So now I'm a Tag Team Champion. Let's take a look at one of the matches with me and Devin Davis in Tag Team action.
Well, fans, welcome to Championship Wrestling. What an exciting matchup we have here. The brand new Apex Tag Team Champions defeating Team Gay, the Cuban Assassin, and Devin Davis.
Our opening contest is scheduled for 1 fall with a 10-minute time limit. Team 1 with a combined 400 pounds from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania and Detroit, Michigan, Chad Cross and Raw Talent.
We're the tag team champions right here.
And Team 2 from Havana, Cuba, weighing in at 470 pounds, the AWA Apex Tag Team Champions, the Cuban Assassin, and Devin Davis.
Well, fans, there's the preliminaries out of the way. The brand new Tag Team Champions taking on Raw Talent and Chad Cross. And their jump start right at the beginning, right at the get-go. I guess the champions are coming out and they're going to show what they're made of. I've been impressed with this team of Raw Talent and Chad Cross. Double backdrop. 2 young lions just looking for a victory. Double drop kick on the champions, and they're reeling. And what a showing. Raw Talent now on the Cuban Assassin, but Devin Davis from behind. Devin Davis from behind, like just a cheap shot master. Irish whip. Big elbow on the Raw Talent. Like I said before, lateral press. I've been impressed with Raw Talent and Chad Cross since I've seen them here. These two young kids have a future in professional wrestling. They're just trying to get a victory. The Chad Cross we've seen in past competitions in the Black Attack Challenge. I think this competition will fare better. Duck under Raw Talent, but he catches that knee. And like I've been saying for weeks, as we've seen Raw Talent, all he needs is a victory to catapult himself in the rankings here at Apex. And the Cuban driving his head into the turnbuckle. The Cuban, a veteran, 16 years, the Cuban heavyweight champion. Nobody home. Raw Talent with those forearms into the back. All over the Cuban Assassin, the second generation wrestler. Driving in with those chops on Talent. Snapmare down. The brand new Apex Tag Team Champions lateral press. Having their hands full with Team Gay. What an exciting program we have. Coming up, we also have Death Falcons here and Professor Danger in tag team action. Team Gay in tag team action. We're going to hear from Awesome Alan Lynch. We're going to see him in action. We're also going to talk with the Shooting Star champion who has a match with a newcomer, Lance Erickson. We have a very exciting program. Sunset Flip. And a clothesline by the Cuban Assassin. And luring Chad Cross in as they're doing the illegal switch. Devin Davis laying those boots. European style uppercut. The team of Devin Davis and the Cuban Assassin are accomplished as a tag team combination. They are wrestlers. Devin Davis, a rookie in this sport, but has shown some veteran-like ways. The Cuban, a 16-year veteran, as I mentioned before. As you see, the double team. But they have been throwing the rule book out of the window as of late, and have I guess that brought them the tag team championship. Cuban arguing with the fans at ringside about the count. What an exciting program we have starting off here with the champions. Big suplex right there. And Cuban arguing with the referee now. The crowd behind Raw Talent and Chad Cross. The young lions in the sport. The stars of the American Wrestling Association. The stars of Apex. Coming to you in your home after 27 years wrestling back to the southern West Virginia area. Tuck at the clothesline. Flying body press. Near fall. He almost had him. If he could just scored a victory right there. But again with the clotheslines. Backing Raw Talent into the corner. That's a dangerous spot for Talent to be. Irish whip now. Tuck of the clothesline. Double clothesline. Raw Talent with a little bit of offense of his own. The crowd trying to rally behind Raw Talent, and he goes to make that tag. Tag to Devin Davis. Tag to Chad Cross. Chad Cross, House of Fire. Big right hand to the Cuban. Big clothesline. There's one for the Cuban. Thank you, sir. I'll have another. Scoop and a full body slam. Scoop and a slam on the Cuban Assassin. Chad Cross looking great this week. It's broken down into a four-way Donnybrook. The champions, Chad Cross and Raw Talent, giving them everything they got. Both teams in the corners. Chad Cross with Devin Davis. Raw Talent mounting the Cuban Assassin. Reversal. Oh, and he runs them together. Clothesline DDT by the Cuban. He uses that DDT effectively. Devin Davis to the second rope. Referee has lost control. Leg drop, guillotine leg drop. Fans, there you have it.
And here are your winners and still AWA Apex Tag Team Champions, the Cuban Assassin and Devin Davis.
Well, fans, the new Tag Team Champions looking good in their first outing. Fans, we'll be back right after.
like I was saying, it was a benefit for me being in Oak Hill because I could spend time with my son and my daughter, Quentin and Madison, with both my kids. And one of the other benefits was that Brian Logan was paying me $50 for each match that I was doing. So it was more beneficial than being at MSW. Plus the bizarre type of matches that we got to have. Let's take a look at one of those matches right now.
Lynch sneaking up behind Cuban Assassin. My God, fans, what a barn burner we have for you this week as the action gets ready to take place, as these two bulls go to lock up. Of course, the physical fitness guru, the lifestyle of Flex, the lifestyle of the Cuban Assassin, a contrast in styles. The Cuban Assassin, a second-generation wrestler, the Cuban champion, as we see Flex backing the Assassin into the corner with a nice wing over takedown. And I tell you what, I've been impressed. I've known Flex. Me and him go way back. We fans, let me just say, me and Flex, we've known each other for a long time. We've partnered. We've rode the roads together. I have not seen Flex look any better physically, and he's not looked any better in the ring. I'm telling you, Flex wants a championship. The Cuban already has one championship as he takes the arm there, but he's looking for that shooting star gold. He's looking for the belt that his partner, Alan Lynch, has, as we see the full arm dragon twist on the reversal and the Cuban down, and he's locking in that arm bar, locking in grapevine in that arm. I tell you what, the fans are behind Flex. This is a great opening matchup that we have here. Of course, you see Alan Lynch there in the corner. He doesn't, what's he going to do? Of course, Alan Lynch, the consummate wrestler, plays by the rules, great athlete, has what it takes to get done in there, but his partner, the Cuban Assassin, who's a little worse for wear, who doesn't care anything. As we see the tag, at least they can function as a team. As you see Alan Lynch coming off that second rope onto Flex's arm. Now we've got these two. Now we're going to see some wrestling in there. Like I was saying, the Cuban Assassin can care less about rules, as Alan Lynch is a stickler for the rules. That's why he's the shooting star champion. But they did work good as a team, and that's what it takes in tag team competition. You don't have to like them, but you have to coexist in that ring. And so far they're doing that. And I'm wondering if Flex and Devin Davis can both coexist. And again, the crowd is split. Half the crowd is cheering for Awesome Alan Lynch, the shooting star champion, but some of them are cheering for Flex. What a great matchup we had here. And Flex coming within an inch of winning that shooting star title. And Devin Davis poked his nose into it and stopped the count from occurring. Just like we had the following week when the Cuban Assassin was about to get involved last week. He was about to win the championship, and Devin Davis come out again, as we see a pin attempt there on the champion. Devin Davis always putting his nose in where it doesn't belong. Full arm dragon twist. Flex now on Awesome Alan Lynch. Frankly, I don't know. I've been firmly behind Alan Lynch. He's a great competitor. He's a great champion, as we see the clothesline. And the Cuban Assassin pulling him off. I tell you, and a tag right there. The tag made to Devin Davis. Now this feud goes back. Alan is an awesome champion. I know I keep using that word, but it's true. Beautiful arm drag. Beautiful arm drag. And another one. But really, would he have been the champion, as we see a third, if Devin Davis wouldn't have been involved in the past weeks? Would have Flex been the champion? Would have Cuban Assassin been the champion? I don't know. I just know that Alan Lynch is still the champion, and Devin Davis has put his nose into the business of Alan Lynch, attacking him time and time again as Alan drives that knee into the arm being barred now, putting that pressure on the shoulder. There is major anger, major hatred as we see the chop by the champion and the Irish whip into the corner between these two. These two men dislike each other, and their feuds has raged. Beautiful springboard drop kick into the corner for weeks now. I tell you what, fans, the shooting star division heating up. And a tag. I don't know if the Cuban was ready for that, but a tag was made nonetheless. I tell you what, they better quit jawing, and the Cuban better get on Devin Davis, because that's what's going to happen. The fresh man's going to come in, and now Flex and the Cuban, and the crowd is behind Flex, just as they were behind Alan Lynch on Jeff Davis. The tags made respectively into both corners, and now they're behind Flex and the Cuban Assassin. What a seesaw matchup we have here. Brought to you only by Apex Wrestling and Entertainment, brought to you only by the American Wrestling Association, the stars of AWA Apex, the stars of the American Wrestling Association. What a matchup we have here. Breeze come out in the beginning, threw a monkey wrench. He booked a tag match, but he didn't let anybody know who was in it. We knew these four individuals, and we come to find out that the teams are going to be mixed up as we see the test of strength. I tell you what, now, if you're at home and you're looking at this, of course, the muscular physique of Flex, you would say he has the upper hand, but the Cuban has that ring-weary body. He has that body. He's a battler. He's a brawler, and he's a strong individual. I've been in there with him. Now, I've been in there with both of them in this that's in the ring right now, and they're both strong individuals. I couldn't possibly say who's the strongest, but I can tell you right now, the Cuban Assassin, he seems to be getting the better of this hold because of the use of the boot. He didn't rely on his strength, which he could very well be just as strong as Flex, but he decided to use the toe of that boot into the midsection as the crowd rallies behind Flex, and now Flex driving the Cuban down, driving those fingers into the mat, and he stomped him. He stomped him, and Cuban going to the corner. He's not going to find any help there from Alan Lynch. I tell you, I'm sorry I'm laughing there, folks, but everybody likes to poke fun at the stinking Cuban, and for good reason. But I tell you what a matchup we have here. I think the Cubans had a little pushes come to shove here. What a great matchup we've had here. It's been a seesaw battle, kind of equal on both sides. No team really gaining an advantage. And I think all four competitors here are veterans. All four competitors are going to be careful. You know, it is a tag match, but three of these guys are gunning for the fourth man, and he's the shooting star champion. Someone's going to have to make a mistake, and then the other team is going to capitalize on it. As we see the forearm dragon twist and the tag to Devin Davis, and he went right back onto that arm. Both teams focusing on that arm as a rake in the eye, and here comes Alan Lynch, and of course he wants to get on Devin Davis. Drop kick to the head, and a pin attempt. This could be it, too. Almost. It was almost over right there. Alan Lynch, a house of fire. Snapmare after snapmare. Kicks to the back. There's this springboard into that drop kick that we've seen him use. That's a beautiful maneuver. Springboard into the elbow. This could be it. He hooks the leg. That's why he's the champion. Almost. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was it. The moves following up the hooking of the leg. That's what made Awesome Alan Lynch the shooting star champion. And again to the eyes. Again to the eyes. Devin Davis to the eyes of Alan Lynch. I tell you, anything, I don't care how tough you are, I don't care what move you're putting on him, a thumb to the eye will stop anybody quick. That right there will stop him as he drives that knee into the head. And he makes the tag to Flex. And I got to say that Flex and Devin Davis seem to be working better as a team than the Cuban and Alan Lynch. Of course, maybe as we see the suplex master putting on those chain suplexes, those pair of suplexes, he's going for the trifecta. Will he hook it on the champion? And he floats over. The physical fitness guru Flex, the master of the suplexes, the master of the crossroads. He has come back. He went down to Florida to train. He went on a personal journey. He said he was at the crossroad of his life and at his career as he hooks another beautiful German suplex. And I believe he came back. He came back to do business. He came back to rule the wrestling world. And his first sight is on the Shooting Star Championship as another series of suplexes on the Shooting Star Champion and a 2 count. And he hooks that leg again. This could be it. And again. And he hooks it and cinching it in deeper each time. What a matchup, folks. Awesome Alan Lynch, the recipient of several suplexes. He's got to mount something, or this could possibly be it. Driving forearm. Driving in. And, of course, that crossface, hooking that hold. He went for the suplexes, and he couldn't quite get the victory, but he hooked in that hold. And Alan Lynch fighting up out of it with blows and a big chop and another chop. Mounting some offense here. Irish whip in the reversal. And Devin Davis from behind. I can't believe he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that. Flex, he rolls him over. And this could be it. And again, another cinched in. This is Flex was suplexing the Shooting Star champion out of his boots. He was in firm control. Of course, Allen was mounting some offense. I don't know how much was behind those blows. And again, the reversal of the Irish whip, and Devin Davis from the blind side delivers that knee, and Allen Lynch is down in the corner, and now Devin Davis has went to town with these blows to the neck, with these cheap shots, these out and out breaking of these rules. And again, we see him as he's choking him. You know, you see, and the Cuban's coming in. That's not going to help Allen at all. And you got to wonder, I mean, maybe that's what he wants. And are they going to make the switch? Flex looks like he doesn't even really want to make the switch, but he wants to win. And I tell you what, folks, I got a point to make here, and the point is the Cuban doing this on purpose? Because think about it, folks. Yes, you want to win this match, but it's not just about this tag match. It's about the Shooting Star Championship, and these three men won it. And Allen Lynch, if he gets hurt, will he be able to defend the Shooting Star Championship against whoever the number one contender will be? We don't know. But then as we see the double clothesline, but I can tell you for sure it's going to be one of these men. And we saw Flex trying to, he didn't know if he was going to come in or not. He was in for a while, but he didn't do anything. And he went back to his corner. Flex, I tell you, he'll break the rules, but he's a competitor. He's been wrestling. Jeff Davis has been throwing the rules out the window. And as both men are struggling for the tag. And there he is, the Cuban. Flex making a big comeback on the Cuban Assassin. Big backdrop. Big scoop and a full slam into the power slam. This could be it. But he didn't go for the cover. The fans rallying behind. He's going for that hammer of the gods, and he gets it. The hammer of the gods. The hammer of the gods. He rolls him over. This could be it. And Allen Lynch makes the save. He says he wants to win the match, and I don't blame him. And now Devin Davis is in. And a kick to the midsection. Hooks him up. Fisherman Buster. Fisherman Buster. The Crossroads. There's the Crossroads. And Cuban with the DDT. The fans behind. He's going for the Tommy Knocker. He gets the Tommy Knocker on him. All four men in the ring. This thing's broken down. All four men going at it. Flex mounts Jeff Davis in the corner. Allen Lynch mounts the Cuban. This is going at it. Allen Lynch on the Cuban. Flex on Jeff Davis. They throw both of them off. Clothesline attempt by both of them. Double clothesline. What a matchup, folks. What a matchup. The Cuban out to the ringside. Devin Davis down. Allen Lynch. Springboard to the floor. Springboard to the floor. This is going out into the arena. Allen Lynch. He's going for the Tommy Knocker. He's going for the Tommy Knocker on Devin Davis, and he gets it. If he could go for the pin right here, he hooks that leg. What a matchup, folks. What a matchup. What a matchup.
Next time on the Cuban Assassin podcast, I'll be talking more about being more involved with AWA Apex Wrestling and also more about my personal life. The Cuban Assassin podcast is produced, written, edited, and directed by me, Richie A. Savito at Mountain Man Productions. Special thanks goes to Ben Hilton for the opening and closing demographics on today's podcast. Special thanks goes to my ex-wife, April A. Savito, for the photographs used on today's podcast. And special thanks goes to Brian Logan and Three Crows Entertainment for the video footage of the matches used on today's podcast. You can reach me at mountainmanproductions@outlook.com. That's capital N for Mountain, capital N for Man, and capital P for Productions at outlook.com. Or you can just simply leave a comment. If you like these episodes of the Cuban Assassin podcast, please like and share. I would really appreciate that. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the Cuban Assassin Podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time, right here on the Cuban Assassin Podcast.